Okay, class, this is going to be the third and the final video for the week. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go through uh, some different things, some of them that you're going to need to know for the actual assignment this week, like how to add new sheets, rename these sheets, be able to sort data. Then I'm going to go through and just talk about some other things that kind of help clean up a data set, some things that are really crucial whenever you're dealing with Excel or Google Sheets. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is how to add a new sheet. So right now we are in this sheet right here, and we see that down here. So what we have is we have 3 different sheets ready to go, and we're going to be working in sheet number 4, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to add one. So if you put your mouse right here over this little plus, it says add new sheet or add sheet. You click on that and you can see that sheet 6 has now appeared. You can click on sheet 4. You now have sheet 6. You want to add another one, just keep adding them. A nifty little trick is you click right here and then you can just transition from sheet to sheet. So you can go say sheet 4 or sheet 6. That really helps out if you have a lot of sheets and it goes say all the way over here. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to rename these sheets. So what you're going to do is you're going to come right here, see where this little drop down arrow is, click on that, you go say rename. So we're going to just call this ledger sheet. And then you can say rename this one and call it something along the lines of blank. That's kind of a quick little brief overview of how you add sheets by going right here and how you can rename them. The next thing we're going to talk about, and the last thing you kind of really need to know for this particular assignment, is how to sort data. So what we're going to, and as well as copy data. So let me go ahead and add that in here so that while we're talking about it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to copy data. So let's just say that this is the data that we need to use for this week, or we need to kind of do some manipulations of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the data that we want to keep. And what we're going to do is we're going to right click it. Then we'll come right here where it says copy. And then we're going to go into, say, a new sheet, because you always want to keep the original data intact. You want to keep the integrity of the original data. So whenever you're manipulating data, you usually want to go into a new sheet, say copy it into a new sheet and paste it. As you can see here, we have the exact same values, the exact same numbers as we did before. So what we're going to talk about next is how you sort data. So what if you wanted to sort this data by when the, let's see, that would have been date born. So say you wanted to sort this data by when the animal was born. What you're going to do is you're going to come in right here and you'll highlight, say, this data, or you just click on this cell. You'll come up here where it says tools. You're going to say data, sort sheet by column D, A to Z. So what we did right there is we said we wanted to sort all of this data by the date that the calf was born, and we want to sort it from least to greatest. And as you can see, it keeps the integrity of the data intact. This line is still the same line that it would have been in the other format. It just now shifted it because of we sorted by this year. Now you can come over here and say you wanted to sort by the final weight. So you just come over here, you go data, but now you want to sort from greatest to least. So you sort column by a short sheet by column H, Z to A. You do that, and now we have this column is sorted from heaviest to lightest calf at weaning weight. Another thing that you can do is, say, if you wanted to sort by different things and look at it, you can come over here, highlight all of it, and you go over here to filter. And now you can see that under each one you have, actually this works really well if you have titles. So what we're going to do is we came back to ledger, we're going to highlight all of this data, including the titles, right click it, copy it, go to sheet 7, We'll paste it right here. And then say we wanted to sort by the sex of the animal. You can go right here, say filter, click right down and say sort A to Z. And now we have all the heifer on top and the steers. This works out really well if you want to sort by different things at the, one right after another. You can just click on the next tab over and sort there. Say you wanted to sort by location, you click, say, Z to A. Now you have all of these together. And it's just a really handy way to really be able to sort something. And as you can see, whenever you have this filter on, it actually throws a green box around the data that's going to be sorted for this particular, in this particular example. So that kind of is a brief overview of how to add new sheets, rename the data, sort the data, and copy the data. That'll work out really well for you on the actual assignment that you're doing this week. So the next thing I want to show is how to merge cells. The rest of this is going to be just kind of how to make stuff pretty, how to really work with Ledger. So the next thing I want to talk about is merging cells. So what if you wanted these three cells to be the same cell? Say you're typing something like Mr. Reagan's class is awesome, which we all know is true. So what if you wanted this to be actually in these two cells right here? Well, you can come in here and you can merge these cells. So you're going to go to Format, where it says Merge Cells, and you're going to say Merge All. Now these two cells, where it was two different cells, has now become one cell. Say you don't like that, you want to undo it. So you'll just go back to Format and Merge Cells, Unmerge. Now it turns it back into two again. So the next thing I want to show you is, say you come in here, you say Merge All, and now you can actually wrap the cell or wrap the text. So actually that's a little bit too large, so what we're going to do is we're going to go say Format, Merge Cells, Merge All, to where text wrapping actually takes the text, and instead of it making it just keep going lengthways, it'll actually wrap it around to where it continues. It'll say, a couple words here, then a couple words there, and a couple words there, to where instead of having to extend a column way out here because you have, that much text, you can actually keep it shorter to say right there, and it just wraps the text. So that's what merging cells and wrapping text is. Next thing we're going to talk about is how to, center up information. So say, for example, we wanted all of this data to be in the center of this cell. Rather, see, it's all right now, it's left justified. So what you can actually come right here and you can say actually center, and it centers everything up. If we don't like that, we go back to left justified, there it is. So like tag number, the tag number is right justified, numbers are right justified where words are left justified. But say we think that this tag number is too far to the left and interferes with the words under the sex. So we can actually just say center it. And now everything in this row is centered. It makes it a little bit prettier, a little bit easier to handle. We can do this with dates and just center it. And that's, you're basically going to use this little box right here to go either left justified, center justified, or right justified. You can do the same exact thing. So say, for example, we have something like the word hello right here. Well, right now it's at the bottom of the cell, but what if we wanted it, say, in the middle? What we can actually do is we will actually come right here to Format and Conditional Formatting. Actually, there should be an easier way to get through it. There it is. You'll come up to right here, Cancel. We'll come right here. It says Vertical Align. You can click on that. And this one right here says top. You can throw it to the top, or you can put it in the middle, or you can put it down at the bottom. So what we can do is between these two icons right here, we can literally put the information just about anywhere we want it in that particular cell. which works out real handy if you have a big cell such as this. The next thing I want to talk about very briefly is the number format. So, if you have, for example, this right here, you don't like the way that these dates are. You actually want it to say, just 12/1/2015. You can come right here and you can actually change the way it looks. So you click on that right there and it'll actually change it. And that works very well in, or you can change just about everything the way it looks. So say we want that in percentage, which that doesn't make much sense. So we're going to actually put it back into number. And what you can do is you can highlight different numbers and actually come up here and change the way they look. Say that this was actually a dollar amount rather than pounds, and you can actually turn it into, say, $710. But since that is a pound and we want it just to stay at number, we're going to leave it there. But the next thing I'm going to talk about is decimal places. So this is average daily gain, and it was figured out by using this formula right here, using these 4 cells, something that we saw on one of the last videos. But this is kind of confusing, correct? So you've got, a 1 and then a whole bunch of decimal places back here. Well, what if you don't want that many decimal places? There's 2 little buttons right here, and it says increase or decrease decimal places. So say we want only 1 decimal place. You can click right here, and this will actually decrease the decimal places until you have just 1. And the good thing about Excel is it always rounds up. So if we see, like right here, this says 1.9. But if we increase the decimal places by pressing this button, it actually becomes 1.87. If we increase it again, we figured out that it was 1.872. Well, it rounded down because it was below 5. If it was 5 or above, it would have rounded up. Like right here, it says 1.938. If we decrease the decimal places, it says 1.94. So Google Sheets actually works really well with rounding on top of everything else it does. Next thing I'm going to talk about is just a couple other things to make stuff pretty. So if you wanted, these are all titles. Say we wanted them bolded. You can actually come up here and press this icon or press Control B and it will actually bold them. You can go up here and if you wanted everything to be italicized, you can go through here, puts it in italicized. If you want it to be underlined, you press Control U and it'll underline it for you just as like you see here. Something else that becomes a very important thing is adjusting the column width. So for example right here we have location bought from. Well, not everything was in there. So there's several ways that you can adjust the column width. You can highlight individual rows at a time and then adjust an individual row or column such as you see here. Or if you have 2 columns you want to be the same size, you highlight both of them, you come out here to the very end, and then you can adjust 2 columns, and these 2 columns will be the same size. Or you can adjust it back. Now what if you want all of the columns to fit just the amount of words in there? So say you highlight them all, come out here to the end where it has the little dumbbell, and you double click. And what you see here is that it actually adjusts these columns to where it shows just the information. It condenses the spreadsheet down as far as it can possibly go without starting to cut off information. So those are a couple ways that you can actually adjust the width of the column. You can do the same thing for the rows, just adjusting it just like that, or you can adjust one at a time. Double click should work if you double click. Well, maybe that trick doesn't work, but you can adjust it just like that. That's pretty much going to conclude the steps for today. I hope these helped. Good luck on your assignment this week, and I'll see you online.